the whole world chants without any hesitation, money, money and money. Can money buy happiness? It's everlasting debate. It's never-ending debate. Only because of money, man is turning himself into bewilderment. Money is your master. Money, 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 money and money. What am I chanting? The same the whole world chants without any hesitation. Money, money and money. Money is power. Money is glam. Money is eternal happiness. Hello everyone. We are here again greeting each other with all happiness amidst of the tantrums of the globe. I'm Soni Puama, yet again with another new poem which everybody admire, and that term is money. And that money has a suffix too. Money, Madness by D.H. Lawrence. What do we have to do without money? We are null, we are void. The world completely turns down topsy-turvy out of financial crisis, and much of the situation is palpable. So how does this money makes a man go crazy? D.H. Lawrence's reference to money wouldn't be different either the way we think about money. To D.H. Lawrence, money is not happiness, money is madness. According to him, as he writes the poem, he states that money can be your best friend and it can be your worst enemy. He has many objections the way human beings pretend. He admonishes the mankind, that mankind who kills each other only for money, only for wealth and fortune. Fortunate are those who knows the value of money, yet they are very sane. The greed for money, the lust for money is what keeping us void and empty. So how is that all up to? The illustration here, if you see a bumpy man eating and gulping money, what does this illustration show? Every illustration speaks 1,000 words. And here it says the greed for money. Money is everything, but it has to be consumed. It has to be there only for limit. We all turn out to be too very violent and bewildered when it comes to the terms of money. And D.H. Lawrence admonishes this. He is reluctant to accept that money can give you only happiness. No, it's not the thing that he does. He shows a clear idea wherein we will acknowledge, stating that yes, this quote D.H. Lawrence is true to the point, and that's what's happening in the globe in terms of money. And if you notice, every paragraph is entitled. So whenever there is an entitlement such as greed, so this will refer, the complete of the poetry stanza will refer as a greed. So this entitlement is termed to be the theme of the poem. Each and every slide you have a theme representing this entitlement. So title is Money Madness. What is that entitled as? It is entitled as greed. So with this you will understand the lines further. Going forward, money is our madness. So when he says madness, it says that it drives us crazy. Money drives us crazy. We human beings become crazy and it's a madness. But it's not only a madness. What sort of madness is it? A vast collective madness. When he says vast, it's just like we delve deeper into the ocean, we go to that depth of insanity. It's a collective madness. It's not an individual madness. It's not a madness of you and me. It's a madness of you, me and everyone around. In other way around, the whole globe is a puppet in the hands of money. That's why he says money is our madness. We go mad in terms of money. It's not only our problem, it's a problem of everybody around. And of course, he gives a surety stating, and of course, if the multitude is mad, yes, multitude, more than one is multitude, in the sense that if you have 100 rupees, you aren't contented with that. You aren't satisfied with that. You want more. more and more, more and more. We are not blaming anyone here. That's a human tendency, and that's where we are limited also. If we have to have a debate, can money buy happiness? It's everlasting debate. It's never ending debate, because for few, yes, money can buy happiness. Can money buy you health? Yes, in the present situation and in the far more too also, money can buy happiness. There is no point in debating in terms of money, because it is M square. Money is your master. That's why we term it as M square, and it's a big brother also. The individual carries his own grain of insanity around with him. Every individual carries his fate with him. Grain can be happiness, grain can be ill fate also. So it's left to you how you decide upon money. So every individual bestows their own greed. So we all carry our own sort of greed. If I'm greedy about sari, you would be greedy about something else. If I'm greedy about the beauty products, you might be crazy, or you might be mad, or you would carry the grain of something to the other. So we all are different from each other relatively with that of money. That's why he says the individual. Individual refers to any of us here. We carry our own sort of money madness. I can't comment that why is he so crazy about money. In the other way around, I also fall under the same scaffold. I also stand in that degree or a stature wherein I also acquire the madness of money and carries his own grain. Grain can be anything that is in your closet. I carry a grain of insanity. You will also do the same of insanity around with him. Him refers to humankind or man. Him is not particular on any gender. It is irrelevant of gender or irrespective of gender, terming man. Man is human. I doubt if any man living hands out a pound note without a pang. We want more and more money, but the destitute is we are reluctant to spend that money. Even though spending 10 rupees also, we'll have to give a second thought. We are not charity. We are not charity hearted also. We seldom go for anybody's help. We seldom go to somebody's rescue. Why? Only because money has clutched us so very tight that we even give a second thought helping someone with that of money. And that's the truth. Here nobody stands to be blamed, because we are puppets in the hands of money and money is our master. And a real tremor. Tremor can be any problem. Tremor also shows that the fear. Tremor is fear. We have fear. If he hands out a 10-pound note, we are very ruthless. We are very merciless also. We recklessly spend money on whatever selfishly or the selfish motive. But we are reluctant to spend money to the real objective or the genuine objective. And here D.H. Lawrence states that how much ever money we have, we sit on a heap of money. We might be the richy rich, but we give a second thought while we hand out even 10 pound also. And that's where we all are caught. That's where we are judged. Understand, the few lines here express all the plights that money has to do to human beings. We crave for money. We go crazy towards money. Whenever we see money, we want more and more. The lust for money, as it is termed, money is power, money is glam, money is happiness. We quail. Quail is shake. We quail, we shake. Money makes us quail. Money makes us quail. Quail symbolically represents that we are moving away from sanity. We are no good anymore. We start shivering when we see money. We want more and more money, but we are reluctant to spend money on a genuine field also. That's the way a sarcasm works. D.H. Lawrence personifies money as that sarcastic mode wherein we all fall a prey to that bad world of money. It has got us down. It refers to money. Money has got us down. We grovel before it in strange terror. We all are under servitude. Servitude is slavery. We have become slaves in the hands of money. We come down, we stoop to the very low level, we stoop down to the level wherein we don't give a second thought for what we are doing, if it is good or it is bad. And no wonder, we don't have to wonder at all, it is acknowledged by all. For money, for in the sense because, or in the other way around, because money has a fearful, cruel power among men. What's happening across the globe? Why are we killing each other? Why are we becoming that terrified animal to each other? Only because of power, and power is money. Power or money are the two faces of the same coin. The way success and ambition works. Success is power, ambition is money. So without two destitutes, we cannot work in this world at all. Money is everything. I cannot say that money is nothing. Without money, there is no life. If you want to survive in this world, you will have to have enough money. In parenthesis, it is enough money. And here, the first paragraph shows the greed. How much ever you have money, you are dissatisfied. There is no word known as satisfaction in terms of money. Forwarding next, it is a despair, wherein you are helpless. You're completely helpless in the hands of money. So how does he describe despair? But it is not money we are so terrified of. What is money after all? It's just a piece of paper. You have our father of the nation there smiling all across, stating that yes, I am there with you. I am there for your survival. It's just a piece of note. What value does that carry? What value does it have across the globe? We respect money. We don't respect human beings also. We don't respect our acquaintance also the way we do with that of money. So that's the power of money. And whoever has this sort of a piece of paper, which nowadays it is in color and what color? Pink, orange, green and what? Everybody are flamboyant across this. And whoever has this in their pockets, they are powerful because money makes them powerful. But it is not money we are so terrified of. It's not money at all. It is the collective money madness of mankind, the one who craves to have more and more money. It's a way of sarcasm stating that money doesn't play any role in converting a good human being into wild or violent. But it's a money madness, collective money madness. Only because of money, man is turning himself into bewilderment. He turns out to be very violent. He takes all the chaos out of the globe only to acquire money and power. The more powerful you are, the more respect that you have it in the society. That's what the logic or funda goes. For mankind, what is mankind? A societal norm. What does mankind say? With one voice. It has only one voice. How much is he worth? What is your worth? Do you have money in your pocket? What is your total family structure? What is that you earn monthly? What is your annual income? What is your bank balance? What business you own? If you don't have anything here, you are unworthy. How much do you worth of? It's a question, it only asks your worth, not of nature. It asks your worth in terms of money. And money is your big boss. Has he no money? Don't you have money? Don't I have money? Then let him eat dirt and go cold. Dirt, while he is left with no food. That is dirt. There is no necessities. That is food, clothing and shelter. Money can buy you everything. Those were the time when we had the necessities. Food, clothing and shelter. Done. You had a very happy life. And it crossed another of the bridge and came to luxury. Where is the comfort? Comfort has no role to play. Either you are poor or you are filthy rich. You are exorbitant in all the wealth that you acquire. There is no comfort at all. And where is the comfort? If there is no comfort, it's very difficult to survive. And if you have to have your worth, you need to be rich. If not, what do you have to do? You have to eat the dirt that's left over. You have to pick it from the trash or the bin and go cold. Cold without shelter. You go cold without shelter. So you're homeless. There is nobody to quench your thirst. There is nobody to feed your hunger. You're starving to death. Yet, there are none to come to your rescue. Why? Because you are poor. You have no money in your pockets. And if I have no money, the other way around, of course, if you don't have money also, they will give me a little bread. Bread or loaf of bread. It can be morsels of rice also. They will give you bread. But at what cost? So I do not die. Not out of courtesy that they are doing this. So that I don't die. So food serves as a purpose of livelihood. If you can't afford for your food and shelter, you're worthless. You're unworthy to survive on this earth. That's the structure of money. That's the power that D.H. Lawrence throws light on. But they will make me eat dirt with it. Yes, they will feed you. In the other way around, they'll take complete advantage of you because you're poor. You're embodied now. You're embodied as a slave. Now, the one who fed you the bread, the one who gave you morsels of rice, the one who quenched your thirst, they did that because so you don't die. But they have a hidden motive. And what is that hidden motive? Slavery or servitude. In the other way around also, I am made to eat dirt. They will give me bread. But I am made to eat dirt because I am left with no money. They want to take the complete advantage of my poverty. I shall have to eat dirt. He repeats, make me eat dirt with it. I shall have to eat dirt. I shall have to eat dirt. There is a repetition. This doesn't come as a redundancy. This doesn't come as a repetition. It is a repetition of pain. He actually is agony. He is in agony stating that if I don't have money, I have to eat dirt. And what does dirt refers to? The filthy kind of things that you find in the nature. Of course, in terms of human beings, that is controlled by money. So if I don't have money, I'll have to eat dirt. If somebody is feeding me also, I have to eat dirt. So this repetition serves his purpose. He's very staunch in his belief that money is everything. Money is my master. It is that I am frightened of. For human beings, your self-respect is everything. If you don't have money, your self-respect is always hampered. You're down in the grounds, begging or in arms of or a needy like. But money can give a highest of the stature in the society. We all know many actors, of course. We all know Angelina Jolie. We know Salman Khan. We know Sushmita Sen. We know everyone. Do they know us? Answer is within you. Going forward, here you have another theme representing the same but entitled Fear and Faith. Wherever you have fear, you have faith. Wherever you have faith, you have fear. What is fear? Fear of losing your self-respect without money. Fear of going homeless without shelter and food. Fear of being not recognized in the society. And what is faith? Again, money is faith. If I have money, I can have my reputation in the society. I can rule the world. But how much? But how long can you pretend to be the one? So, faith and fear. Fear and faith again are the two faces of the same coin. If you have to have fear, you have to have faith, and the other way round. This image speaks everything. Overall, you have money, but you're drowned in it. You're completely shackled down the money. It's either, if in Hindi, if I have to go na aar ya par. You cannot come up, you cannot go down. It's just like a quicksand wherein you're drowning. So it means that we have to have money only as it is necessitated, so that you don't go in a poverty strait. You don't go homeless. You go without any reputation. Whatever you have, you will have to have in a limit. Not everybody who are rich enough are happy. Not every happy men are consolidated with whatever the money they have in their treasury. Going forward, and that fear can become a delirium. Delirium, yet again, you know what is delirium? It's a sort of a disease, or wherein there is a mental instability. It becomes a delirium. You always pound for money. But if you have no money, what is that you have to do? It becomes a hysteria for you. It becomes a delirium, a kind of mental sickness, because your mind is controlled with that of money. We all are the puppets in the hands of money. It is fear of my money mad fellow men. I am not scared about myself also. I am feared about other people across me, other people around me, because they can go mad, they can do anything for money. So I am not worried about it. It has become a delirium to me with no money. Not because I am poor, because I am worried about other people around me. We must have some money. See here, some, it is sum in amount, so that you will have your necessities preserved for you and your family. You have to have only some money, enough money, so that you can survive. I told you, comfort, in between necessity and luxury. You had comfort also once upon a time. But now there is no comfort, there is no meaning for comfort, because it is void now, it is empty. It has vacuumed itself in between of the necessity and luxury. So you need to have something known as necessity, and that is some money to save us from eating dirt. Again, if I am talking about dirt, if you have to save yourself from dirt, so that you will save your self-respect. And anybody would prefer self-respect to anything. Self-respect is everything. But if you don't have money, that's under somebody's foot. Your self-respect is hampered. All this is all wrong. Everything, as it says, to save us from eating dirt. And this is all wrong. He has a continuity. Even though dirt stops here, there is a sudden pouncing or galloping of the another sentence stating, and this is all wrong. What is wrong? Having money is wrong. Only because you are poor it is wrong. Whose fate and whose fear is this? Once you are born, it is your fate and funeral. The word fate and funeral, either you choose fate or funeral. If you can't choose either of those also, your self-respect is tampered. And that's what he says. Bread should be free. Shelter should be free. Fire should be free to all and anybody. But personally opining, if everything would have been free, if everything was free, would we be valuing the money the way we are doing it now? Does money hold any value in this world? No, only because we have to pay the cost for whatever we buy. We know the value of money. But D.H. Lawrence throws another idea, stating that everything should be free. It becomes a world of utopia. Utopia where everything is happy. There is no sad at all. So he says that in this world, everything should be free. What should be free? Bread should be free, basic necessity. Shelter should be free, basic necessity. Fire should be free. Why fire? Why wouldn't that be water? Why wouldn't that be air? Why can't that be atmosphere or environment? Fire indicates purity. Fire instructs human beings to be good or bad. So mythologically and biblically, fire holds a very good reputation in the books of any of the epics or mythological for that's concerned. Fire should be free to all and anybody. It's not only for the rich. Even we also acquire the same quantity that we do with that of bread shelter and fire. And anybody, all over the world. Not only here and there, across the globe, everything should be very, very in a utopic manner. The antonym or the opposite of utopia is despotic. Despotic is just like a pandemonium or hell. So now we are in a world of despotism. This is despotism, wherein we aren't happy at all. We all are striving to achieve something. How can we achieve something without money? Money plays a very pivotal role and a prominent role in sculpting our future as a person as well as in the world of profession. We must regain our sanity about money. Sanity, consoleness or goodness about money. So how can we acquire sanity? The time we see money, we want to gallop onto it, we want to pounce on it. If there is an apple on one hand and money in the other, what would you choose? Apple? You would choose money, because out of this money you can buy many apples, don't you? That's a concept. So money is everything. If I have to talk as a mouthpiece of D.H. Lawrence, it should be money is everything. And also, yes, it is true that the future would witness a worse drastic change in terms of power. Money will be a master. It was, it is, and future also it will be. So I'll use the ellipsis. I'll use ... only to term that money is a master. Without money, there is no survival. Before we start killing one another about it, whatever happens, theft happens, murder happens, be it whatever happens, everything happens for money. There is no second thought at all. There is no personal grudge. Why was one murdered? Only because of money. Personal grudge, when we talk about personal grudge and any of the, like murders or thefts or any of the crimes for that matter, everything is interrelated, intertwined with that of money. And it's one thing or the other. Money has created chaos. Money is creating chaos and it will be the one in future also. We don't know what our present situation are facing, but the future citizens or future generation will be the worst to be contaminated with the terms of money. So what is this overall? Line by line explanation, whatever line you see, whatever the entitlement you see, it only showcases or it only takes away to one thing. Money can be our best friend and money can be our worst enemy also. And I think my opinion with that of D.H. Lawrence wouldn't be different either. And next, you can see the thematic representation I was talking about. I was talking about money being a puppet. So this is how a puppet looks like. We human beings are the puppets in the hands of the money. We are the puppets in the hands of money. And this is what is known as puppetry. And here, glare here, money, pain, money, pain, money, pain and money. There is no happiness at all. Because money in itself is happiness. If there is no money, there is pain. So everywhere around in clouds across, you can only find money and pain. That's it. So why don't you find any happiness here? Only because money in itself is happiness. If there is no money, there is pain. So money and pain goes hand in hand. That's all for now. And also, before we leave, we have the expected questions. Explanation paves a way to the expected questions also. So what is that you can expect? I keep telling you one simple funda. Understand the poem's essence. While you understand the poem in a thematic way, what is the theme? The theme of the poem is money in itself. Money can be your best friend, it can be your worst enemy. Money can buy you happiness, for many it is not. Even though you have money, you are on a heap of money, every time you aren't happy. Because not for everyone money can buy happiness. So if you understand the theme, it becomes very easy to narrate or recite a poem or to understand it in writing. How does the poem bring out the collective madness about money? So in simple way, you have to write every symbols, every circumstances that D.H. Lawrence puts about. So you have to start D.H. Lawrence admonishes or he criticizes humankind for turning out greedy. Greedy for what? Greedy for money. Why? Because money is power and power is money. Only when you have money, you become powerful in the society. And next, what according to the poet might happen if people do not regain sanity about money? They start killing each other. The globe might turn topsy-turvy. The world will turn out to be in a catastrophe. You will not find utopia at all. Everything such of a pandemic where you will find it. Signify the title Money Madness. So you can critically acclaim. You can state what is money and its madness. In simple, we will have to enlarge the theme into representation or presentation of the poetry in itself. You have to signify the title Money Madness. You have to critically appreciate your opinion. You have to put forth your opinion in signifying the title Money Madness. When they ask you the significance of the title Money Madness, envelope all your ideas, jot it down and put it in ideological manner. That's what it is. Every time, money cannot buy you happiness. True, we also agree that money in itself is happiness. But let's not be too very greedy. I can say it very easy, of course, but what am I stating that? Only so that we can be helpful to others. God has given us everything. We are rich enough. Why don't we serve the needy? Here's Vidyashram for you, wishing you a healthy and pink at your life. Until then, bye-bye.